What is up, Rad Potential YouTube, and welcome to today's video on the Radformational video, whatever. Welcome to today's video on the Rad Potential YouTube channel. We are going to talk about this engine that I rebuilt a couple weeks ago, and it's been giving me some fits. So I'm going to go over some things, some mistakes, not really mistakes, but just issues I've had with it and why it's all torn back apart. But first, figured I'd give you the $2 tour of all the cars. Rally car, Bridgeport car, which we're doing a video on the Weber in that. Will's car, which is done, or actually we're redoing the carburetor, just getting it cleaned again. Charles has the carburetor, but exhaust is done. Death Trap's having a fuel pressure issue right now where it's running lean on the top end, so I can free rev it and get zero fuel pressure. Once this one's done, I gotta fix my Jeep, and then I'm starting back on this. I'm gonna get this painted. We still got the Cosmo first shins, the first shin down there. There's two more cars way down there, which you might see on the channel in a little while. And then we got this thing. So, if you've been following along since the very beginning of the channel, you know that I've worked on this car before. I built the engine in it. The guy was driving it, it overheated and torched coolant seals. So I got it back, pulled the motor back out, rebuilt the motor, put it back in. And it was hard to start, timing was off, we got it running. Had an oil leak on the front cover. So I'll show you on this engine here that I already have out. So I had an oil leak right back in here. On these front covers, the oil part that feeds this little hole right there above that dowel pin, that feeds oil to your oil metering pump, and I think that's where it was leaking. So note that. The other thing, when I pulled it apart, this is the O-ring that goes between the front cover and the front iron for the oil pump. This is your main oil feed for the entire engine, and it goes right here, just so you know. So when I pulled the motor apart, the O-ring that I had in it was pushed out. Like basically imagine like the edge of this being pushed out this way. So I swapped it with another one, and this one is actually an injector diffuser O-ring. It's the right diameter, but it's a tad bit thicker, and it seemed, well, I mean, I didn't run it, but we'll see how that one works better. But why did we tear the engine down? So when Charles came out this weekend to drop off these two other cars that are down in the front, I had him compression test this motor while it was on the stand. Now, one might say, probably should have compression tested it right when I rebuilt it before I put it in here, but we didn't. We put it in and tried to get it running. So, what do I think the issue was? And as you saw by the title of the video, you'll know what we replaced and didn't replace. So, when this motor overheated, when I rebuilt it the first time, everything was in good condition. It overheated, and I put basically everything back. I put new apex seals in it, put everything back how it was. And so this is your rotor I'm going to use as an example. And I think this is a side seal spring. Tips up, lay that in there. And I think that the side seal springs were affected by the heat and aren't springing up very well. So you can see that's springy, but on the ends it's not very springy. Now there's not a pound meter I could put on here to show you, but it's not as springy as it should be in my opinion. And I think that's what is causing it to be. I wouldn't even say it's low compression. It's low compression for a fresh rebuild. It's not really that low compression. We're sitting like mid 60s and low 70s on all of them, and they're all pretty even, so there's no like outlier or stuck seal or anything, but that's not good. A freshly rebuilt motor should be high 90s, over 100 for sure, you know, especially with its all new stuff all put back together. So the other thing, and just talking to some of the other engine builders around here, a lot of guys don't like to run these solid corner seals. Okay, so I had solid corner seals in that one, and let me grab some regular ones. Okay, right here we should have little rubber guys. There we go, perfect. I'll just bring the whole box over here. So the variation or the difference between a solid corner seal right here and a stock corner seal right here, you can see this has this big hole. Now what goes in that big hole is one of these little rubber guys. It's a corner seal plug. Okay, so this would go in here like that, and your apex seal touches that. Now, some people have said that the solid corner seals don't provide as good of a seal as an OEM seal. And I don't know if it's a tolerance thing with how they fit. I know that these solid ones, I would say, fit a little loose, meaning like I can kind of wiggle that around in there just a bit and they spin super easy. But if you have a factory one, like it's like you gotta push it down in there, and that thing, I cannot spin that by hand. You know, I've got to have a screwdriver or something to be able to turn it. I.e. like the diameter is a mega tighter on that than it is on this. So learn-ish from my mistakes slash decide on what you wish, but I'm gonna rebuild this engine, put it back together with OEM Mazda corner seals, new side seal springs, because these side seals are already fit, and see what we get. I'm already running FD corner seal springs, and these are new apex seals here from the last time I put together. But the reason why, when I rebuilt Will's motor up here and put it back together, I put Mazda corner seals in it, and that thing fired right off, good compression, which I may need to throw, I should throw the tester on to see where it is so I have quantifiable numbers, but fired right off. I mean, sounds good, runs good. I mean, it'll start mega flooded, so seems to be working good. But this one, for some reason, just we can't beat it, or can't figure it out. And Charles was over here, he helped me tear this down, and I apologize for my voice being a little weird. My sinus has been kicking my butt. As you can see, I like mowed everything and trimmed and weed eated like all day yesterday. So, but I'm thinking that's gonna be the ticket to getting this thing good. And I'm drawing up, I designed a stand, and I'm gonna put some stuff together so I can test run engines on my workbench over here. And I'm hoping, I don't think I'll have it finished to run this one, but by the next engine I build, which will be a Bridgeport for my Repu. But I gotta pull that motor apart. I got plates already Bridgeported. I'm gonna build a test run stand for it on my engine stand over here, or on my workbench. And just because I'm tired of putting engines in and not having them run, and I say tired of putting engines plural in, this is really the only one, but we put a Bridgeport in Charles's rotary truck a while back, and he had a down face, and we had a stuck corner seal, or stuck side seal, where the rotor was a little damaged. But had we ran it outside the truck, we wouldn't have wasted all the time putting it in. So that's the plan there. I do want to apologize for this video not having any action. When Charles was here, I didn't set up a time lapse or anything to film us tearing this down. Basically, we just took it all apart, put everything back in here. So when I put this back together, we're going to do new corner seals, OEM ones, not run the solid ones, and I'm going to refit the side seals and do new side seal springs. And then we'll make sure the front cover O-ring doesn't leak. There are people that take a like a copper washer, or use it like a metal insert to fill it, and then we'll run an RX-8 front cover gasket, which I think I have one up here. So the RX-8 front cover gasket, you can see right there, is like nice and thick. Also has a provision for the oil pump O-ring. So maybe we'll try that because I do have one and I really don't want to have any more issues with it. But on my motors, I've never really had issues with that coming apart and popping out like that. But then again, they all make good oil pressure. The only sign that you would know that that's all messed up would be if you have low oil pressure. So that could be the cause. Normally, these oil pumps don't fail, so you really won't have too many issues with oil pumps unless it like eats a bearing and runs all that through your oil pump. Then I'd replace it. But that's pretty much that. My dryer didn't dry my blanket. Gotta get this thing going at some point, man. I know I got a guy that watches these videos that has one of these. And I feel you, dude. I need to get this thing fixed. And by fixed, I mean full restoration, but it sucks to see it sitting because it's just such a rad car. But the other thing I want to show you that I've been working on in the evenings, this is what I'm going to do tonight. I've been restoring this dirt bike to sell. This is my old race bike. So I finally have everything cleaned, polished back up, titanium exhaust, frames all polished and all that. So tonight I'm going to work on getting this put back together and sell it. And then I got big things coming with the money I'm getting from that. So yeah, Corvette too. So with that, I want to apologize for this being a talking video, no big action again, like I said. And I appreciate all of you guys who watch the videos. And subscribe if you want to see more. I have jets coming for the silver car this week. So ideally we get that tuning figured out. And in the next video for the silver car, I'm going to lay out like basically RPM ranges and what in a Weber carburetor affects where you're at in the RPM range. So that way you can hopefully tune one yourself and get it figured out. So, thank you for watching. Keep it rad. Buddy, what are you doing? Got a bottle? Peace.